Yeah, so you can sit on a block, you can sit on a blanket, whatever allows you to get tall and upright through your spine. And we'll pause for a few breaths just to get our bearings and land here. The check-in can be helpful, but sometimes it takes the mind and the body conscious transition. So let your breath come in. And let your breath go out. Your breath comes in through your nose. And then goes right back out through your mouth for now. And we'll begin the process of coming into the body, of landing with breathing, but also with some tapping. So you can land your hands on your thighs and just give a gentle tapping. So you can alternate one hand and then the other, or you can tap both sides at the same time. But we're just saying hi to the body in this really gentle tapping way. Hi, and we're here together. So you'll breathe in, sitting up tall. And you'll breathe out, tapping from the knee up to the hip crease and back down. And you can alternate the space so that you're more to the inside line of the leg or to the outside line of the leg. A number of modalities use tapping, and there's a lot that can be said about it, but in a really simplistic way. What you're doing as you breathe and tap is consciously bringing awareness and energy to the place that you're touching. Which can't help but bring you into the present moment, because the present moment is where you're tapping. So let me get this. So as you tap your way up and down, if there's a spot that needs a little bit of love, you can tap a little more. When you feel complete with the tapping of your legs, you'll bring your hands up towards your belly. And instead of tapping, we'll rub the belly. You can go up and down. You can make side to side motions. Whatever feels best right now for you. Maybe you just had breakfast and the side to side motion feels like a nice way of supporting digestion. Maybe the up and down is more skin surface level feeling or sensation. There's no right or wrong way to connect to the body right now. We're just waking it up. One more time. Yeah, and if there's a spot you want to linger in your belly or your side body, you can do that. There we go. lets her in now. Okay. When you feel complete, we'll come up towards the rib cage, and you can tap on the outside of your ribs, which sometimes feels a little bit like a gorilla motion, especially if you're using your knuckles, and come up to your chest. Some folks like to go back down the middle and out and around, so you're tapping circles around the rib cage. But you can also just pause in the chest if that feels good, or enlivening. It doesn't have to be perfectly fluid, but it can be, if that feels okay. Next time you make your way up to your chest, let your tapping shift to one arm. So you come down the arm and back up the arm. Come back through center and switch over to the other side. Tapping on the outside and the inside. You can trace through both sides of your arms. Until you feel balanced with that. And once you do, shake out your hands. And find that steady breath rhythm again. Breathing in and out. We'll take one more breath in. On an exhale, let your hands land somewhere on your body that needs a little extra love or attention today. So if you mentioned that your neck was cranky, you might place your hands on your neck. If you mentioned that your shoulders need love or your knee is unhappy, you might try that. And let your breath come in wherever your hands land. And let your breath go out, clearing the space for healing, awareness, or whatever intention you had when you came onto your mat today. And let your breath come. Then your breath go. One more deep breath in. And as you exhale, open your eyes and bring your hands down to the floor. You'll come forward into table. If you need to shift props around, you can do that. If you were sitting on a block, move it to the side. I like to keep towers of blocks in all directions. Now coming towards table, you can set yourself up with extra cushion underneath your knees. Based on where we're going, you might find that you want that extra bit of support. And then you can be on flat palms if that feels okay, fists if that feels better, or you can also set blocks underneath your forearms whatever height works for your body. And we'll come into some cat-cows. So on an inhale, you'll arch. And on an exhale, you'll round. And breathing in. And breathing out. Sometimes it feels nice to emphasize the shoulder rolling as you move through your cat-cows. Other times it feels nice to emphasize the mid-back or the low back, so you can sort of move the cat-cow into the part of your body that needs a little bit more attention today. And as you continue to arch and round, you might take a little sway from side to side in your hips. The next time you inhale, find a neutral spine so that your back is straight-ish. Right, there's a natural curve there. You'll keep your left hand down, or forearm, and spin your right leg behind the line of your left knee so that your right foot comes down. Then bring your right arm high. So this is a side plank variation. And with the left elbow down or left fist down, make sure that you're able to press down in a way that helps your shoulder blades come down your back and your chest stay open. Now take a breath in and a full breath out. You can keep the right leg down if that feels best, or float your right leg up for a little bit of play with balance. If that's too much, you just put the right foot back down, no problem. If it feels good, lift the right leg up half an inch higher as you inhale. And with your exhale, you can hover the right foot down. Playing with this outer hip strengthening. Inhale to lift.
Yeah.
Exhale to lower. One more time. You'll inhale to lift. As you exhale to lower, tap the right foot down. Walk your hands over to the right slightly so you come into table, but with the left knee down and the right leg up to the side. I call it janky table. Here you can give your hips a gentle sway from side to side and observe what happens in the inner leg line. Or you can find an arch and a round through your spine, which might also change things for your inner legs. When your body has had enough of that movement pattern of swaying or cat-cowing, extend your left arm out to the side. Try for a moment to float your right foot up off the ground. So the left arm goes one direction, the right leg, this one, the one that's already extended, goes in the other direction. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, you'll set the right foot down and you'll take your left arm and thread it all the way under. Now, if your left shoulder doesn't touch the floor, you can grab your bolster and set it underneath. This is a nice twisting shape, but you get space for your belly, for your neck. You can walk your right hand forward Reach your right arm up and back, whatever works best for you. And if you are flirting with balance, you're welcome to explore the possibility of lifting up your right leg if that feels interesting but still safe. And breathing in and breathing out. When it's time to come up, you'll take your right arm up, back down to the floor, bend in your right knee, and you'll start to walk your hands over towards your right foot. So we're coming into a low lunge with the left knee staying down. And if you need to pad the knee before you lift up, take a moment to change the cushion so your knee gets the support that it needs. Then you'll bring your weight into your right foot with the hips shifting forward. The right knee will stack over the right heel. And you can use your hands on your thigh to let your belly come forward. And then on an exhale, consciously draw up and in so that you lift away from your thigh. And even with the baby in the belly, it's not so much an engagement in the abs as it is a dropping of the sit bones that allows the belly to have space from the right thigh. So the right knee is still stacking. You can stay with the hands low, especially if balance is challenging, or anchor through the top of your left leg and extend the left arm up. Maybe you stay here. Maybe the left arm reaches overhead to the right for a gentle side bend. You might fall. This is okay. Sometimes it's nice to experiment with closing your eyes, even if you think it might mess up your balance, which is what just happened for me. You can shrug your shoulders back, take a breath in, and a breath out. One more deep breath in here. And as you exhale, you'll bring both hands down to the inside edge of your right foot. And we'll pause for a lizard lunge variation. So the right knee is wide over the right heel. The hips come forward and down. Now, if you have the space, you're welcome to make a little bit of a ramp for your left thigh to rest on. We're going to pause here to get some space through the pelvis. Now, what that looks like in every body will be a little bit different. If you have a bolster that's firm, it might just be one block under the side that's closest to the pelvis and a little bit higher towards your chest. So you don't want to have to lower your body to the bolster. If anything, you want the bolster to come up to where your body wants to be. Now you can use the bolster, or you're welcome to just put your elbows on blocks. But we're looking to find this shape with a little bit more easefulness than you might otherwise be able to find it. So we breathe in here, and we breathe out. If this is feeling very intense, consider adding more height so that there's less intensity and more of an ability to be present in the moment for whatever sensation is here. So we're not trying to make this the most intense shape of all time. We're looking for a sense of opening, but also more than the opening, a sense of relief or release.
Sandy,
Yes.
Sandy, what is the right leg doing? I'm not sure.
Oh,
Is it still vertical?
it's lizard lunge. So the right knee is off to the side.
Got it.
Let me turn towards you so you can see a little bit more clearly. Sometimes demoing in this digital land is awkward, but you'll have your right foot out to the side. I would normally say mats with distance, but the right knee is over the right heel, off to the right. And then the left side can rest down. And I've made a bit of an accommodation for my pregnant belly to have space with the support of the bolster, but however the ramp works for you is good. When it's time to come out, we'll shift in perhaps a strange way. We've definitely never done this in this class. You'll walk your hands back towards you. Let the weight come into your left knee. And I'll have to slide this out of the way for now so you'll be able to see. We'll make it cleaner in a minute. But you'll sit back so that you're sitting with your bum down, and your right foot will cross over the left thigh. So let me turn towards you again. You might need to sit on something so your pelvis has a little bit of elevation, but the left knee is down and the right foot crosses over the top. Yep. Sometimes this is called Lord of the Fishes pose. If there's discomfort in your lower knee and it just doesn't work, extend the left leg out in front of you and just cross the right foot over from there. Now, wherever you are with the lower leg, if you need extra support, you can put, blankets or towels underneath the knee. You can also elevate your bum so that it's level from right to left, which does tend to be challenging for folks. You'll hold your hands onto your shin and sit up as tall as you can. And breathe in. And breathe out. Now, keep your right hand on your right shin and bring your left hand behind you. Notice if your right knee is sort of plopping over to the side, and keep it stationary so it provides a really firm, solid foundation. You'll turn to the left, anchoring through your bum. Sit up tall as you inhale, and turn to the left as you exhale. Now, if you want a little bit more rotation, you can press your right elbow into your right thigh, but you have to use the press of the elbow into the thigh and meet that press with the thigh pressing back into the elbow so there's stability. Otherwise, it won't work. We'll take a breath in here. And as you exhale, we'll come back to center. Now, if you're pregnant, you might skip this. If it doesn't work, you can just stay with your hands on your shin. Alternatively, your left hand will move to your right shin and your right hand will move behind you. So we did what's traditionally considered the counter twist first. Anchor through both sides of your pelvis and look to the right. But you don't need to leverage or push and pull to get into the shape. Just sitting and feeling your sit bones grounded will help you find length, and turning can happen to the degree that it works for your body. We'll take a breath in and a breath out. One more inhale. One more exhale. Okay. Now, you'll turn back to center. This time, bring the right foot over to the right. You'll extend the right leg out. Let me move some of these props so that you can see my body. Now that I've made a mess of props. Your right leg is extended out. If you need to slide something under your right knee so that it's not locking down, the corner of a blanket or a rolled up towel is a good choice. And then find any support that you like underneath your left knee so that you can sit upright. And we'll take some side to side movement in the waist. So you can almost lean your body from side to side just to start to feel some awareness in this side to side range. turning the right toes up towards the ceiling. Take a breath in. And a breath out. You can stay with this if this is plenty, or take your arms out into a T. Breathe in. And with your exhale, your right hand will come over towards your left leg. Your left arm will come overhead. Well, that might be perfect. You might want to come in and out a few times. So allowing the breath to link to movement. Your inhale brings you back to a T. Your exhale can shift you back into your side bend. Breath in perhaps to a T or just staying still. Exhale, side bend. And we'll be in this shape or these shapes for the next 5 breaths. So if you're moving through those 5 breaths, great. If you're perfectly still through those 5 breaths, that's also great. And let your breath come in and go out. The next time you find yourself in your side bend, bring your left hand behind your neck and lean your head back into your hand or your forearm or whatever it's touching. So you get a little bit of support for the neck. Maybe you can turn your gaze up. Maybe not. Breathe in. And with your exhale, open your mouth. You can press into the right hand to help you come back. Keep your hand on your head for extra support. We'll pause. If it's okay to leave the right leg extended, you can, or you can come into cross-legged or even butterfly. We'll take a gentle neck stretch in the other direction. So the left ear will move towards the left shoulder. We'll take a breath in, gently draw your chin back. And as you exhale, roll your shoulders back and down. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you let your breath move your shoulders through a few circles, which can change the experience across the neck. If you'd like a little bit more here, you can extend the right arm out to the side, perhaps over the line of the right leg, unless you've moved the right knee in. For some, it feels nice to move the arm in a forward and backward plane. For others, it feels nice to turn the palm up and turn the palm down. These are just different ways of exploring all the connective tissue. So you can explore in any way that feels resonant for you. When it's time to be done, release the right hand down. Bring your left hand to the left side of your face again and guide your head back to center. Take your right hand under your right knee and guide your knees in for easy seat. We'll pause here for a moment, just taking stock of the distinctions from right to left. Letting the breath come in. And the breath go out. As we prepare for the second side, if you need to get some water before you start moving again, grab that. We'll come forward into table, and you might pause and take some cat-cows, or you might decide you don't need to pause. You can go right to cat-cow, get water, take a breath wherever you are. And use your breath to help support you in making the decisions about what needs to come next. Once you find table and your cat-cow, you can stay here, or you can take a figure 8 style shape, moving the hips around through circles on each side. When you feel balanced in your figure 8s, you'll pause. Make sure that the right hand, fist, or forearm is really stacked and supported. And you'll move your left leg back in line with the right knee. There we go. And sometimes spinning the right foot behind you helps with balance. You'll take the left arm up when you're ready. If you are on a forearm, it can be helpful in keeping the chest lifted to anchor the forearm onto some stable blocks. The left arm is lifted. Maybe you lift the left leg up, maybe not. Yeah, it just gives your chest, when you're on a block, that sense that you're a little bit higher and that your chest can open in line with your hips. If it's low, it's a little bit harder to turn to open. Perfect. And again, you're welcome to keep the foot low if that feels best, or if it feels okay, we'll alternate with breath, lifting as you inhale and lowering as you exhale. So there's a lift, and then there's a lower. Lift, and then a lower. One more time, breathing in. With your exhale, do tap the left foot down in line with your right knee. Walk your hands in front of your right knee so that you find janky table for a second time around. And it might be a sway in the hips that feels best. It might be a cat-cow. You can press into your left hand or forearm, whatever you're modifying with. Try to float the right arm out to the side and lift the left leg up. Maybe that's possible. If it doesn't feel possible, just the effort in that direction is often enough to create some integration, right? So you can try hugging the left heel in towards your right knee. Even if it doesn't move, things start to turn on. When you feel complete, you'll set the left foot down and thread the right arm through. Let your breath come in and go out. And you might choose to stay here, or reach the left arm up, wrap it behind you, turning your chest a little more. If playing with balance felt good to you, you can float the left foot up while you're here. But if that doesn't work in your body, there's no need to do it. If this pose is feeling very peaceful, you can stay for a few beats longer. When it's time to come up, You'll bring the left hand down, press down to lift. Walk your hands towards your left knee and allow the left knee to bend. You might need to shift or change the props behind or underneath your right knee. Your right knee will stay down and supported. Your left foot will be right under your left knee. Now as you bend, pause. Press through the top of your right foot. Maybe you can play with the tilt and tuck of your bum or tail to find that way in which you're able to lift your belly up off of your left thigh. Maybe you stay working with that range of motion. Maybe you bring your left hand to your left thigh or hip and float the right arm up. Anchoring through the right foot, you can take the right arm overhead. Even though this isn't a traditional balancing pose, if you close your eyes, the work of a traditional balancing pose comes in. The inner legs have to hug together, and it might feel very wobbly. That's totally fine. But it's a nice place to play with balance just by closing your eyes. And breathe in and breathe out. We'll take one more inhale and an exhale. When you feel complete, you'll bring your hands down to the floor, inside edge of your left foot, and start to walk your left foot to the left. If you have the space, you can move the left foot farther forward. If you used the ramp on the other side with the bolster, you can do that again. You just might need to take a moment to set it up. Or move away from your bookshelf. And give yourself the space that you need to find a supported variation of lizard lunge. In yin yoga, it's sometimes called winged dragon, which I love the imagery of. You can let your left knee gently come out to the side if it stays on the same plane as the left heel. And once you find the shape and the pose, let yourself get very quiet, finding a steady breath and observing whatever sensory input comes to you, whether that's the sound of the lawnmower outside or the sound of the churning of your mind inside. Have about 10 to 20 more breaths here. So if there's something you can change to allow this shape to be a little bit more easeful, make the change. Or stay with the awareness that you're choosing to stay. when it is time to move, you'll press into your hands and shift your weight back towards your right knee. Let your right foot come in front of your pelvis as you shift back, and you'll cross your left foot over the right thigh. Now, coming to sit back in this way, in this Lord of the Fishes pose that we did on the other side, might require a little bit of finagling and a little bit of extra props. So maybe you sit back, then get your bum onto a towel. Maybe you sit back and you know straight away that it's not going to work for your lower knee to stay bent. You can extend it out right away and just bring the left knee up and over the right thigh. Take a moment to finagle the shape into what you need it to be. Sit up tall as you inhale. And with both hands on your left shin, you can stay here and use your hands on your shin to lift your chest up, or bring your right hand behind your back. And your left hand can stay on your left shin and just start to look to the right. Notice if the left side of your bum is rolling off the floor, and anchor it back down. You can stay here, or press your left elbow into your left thigh and press your left thigh back into your left elbow. So you get tall as you breathe in. And if you notice that your thigh is falling, look for a little more activation through the left foot to help stabilize. Sometimes it's nice to bring the hand right to your chest, and that can help too. Breathe in and turn as you breathe out. One more inhale. And with your exhale, you'll slowly unravel, guide your hands back to your left shin. And this might be enough posture, right? So you might have enough experience through the hips to say, okay, this is enough, I'll stay here. Or you'll keep your right hand on your left shin or knee and turn to the left. Again, if there's a baby in your belly and you need more space, there's no harm in setting the left foot forward and to the left even of the knee. We're just turning. Let the breath come in and the breath go out. Take another inhale, getting tall, and turn as you exhale. You can stay as long as it feels good, but when you're ready to unravel, you'll look forward again. Extend the left leg out, guiding whatever extra support you need underneath your left knee. And then something underneath your right knee as well. Perfect. Now, the same side-to-side sway can be nice, so you can, once you find your hips comfortably rooted, just letting the shoulders or the side waist move from side to side. And even if it seems like a hokey way to move, it's really about isolating the motion in the side body so that you can become aware of what happens when you lengthen one side and shorten the other, and how that happens in your body. Because that's part of side bending, is getting one side a little bigger and one side a little smaller. But still big, because it helps the other side stay bigger. And you can stay with that gentle rolling of side to side, or extend your arms out. So the right knee is bent, the left leg is extended. You breathe in. And the left hand will come across your body, right arm comes up and over. So I'll say that again, coming back to your T. And it might be confusing if we're not all on the same side, which is totally fine. But I'll say it without rights and lefts. So take a breath in. Your hand that is the same as your extended leg will come towards your bent leg, and your other arm will come over the extended leg. There you go. Just in case we're not all on the same side. Now we'll alternate between these 2 points, inhaling up and exhaling your way into your side bend. Breathing your way up and breathing your way in. And you can keep alternating between those 2 points with your breath. Or you can find a spot and stay there for a few breaths. We have 3 or 4 more. When it feels like time to be done, you'll bring your right hand behind your head and turn your head, pressing your head back into your arm. Turn your head to the right. And take a breath in and a breath out. Now you can keep your hand on your head for support and just press your left hand into the floor to bring your chest back over your hips when you're done. Breathe in. As you exhale, you'll release your right hand down and then your left hand down. Pause for a moment. Let your neck get its bearings. Breathe in and out. Notice if your hips have shifted forward and back, and try to settle your pelvis into a neutral space. And if you'd prefer to do the neck stretch that we're about to do with both knees bent out to the side rather than one leg extended, you can make that shift now, but we'll gently bring the right ear towards the right shoulder. So that's towards the bent knee, if we're all on the same side. Sometimes it helps to gently nuzzle the head a bit forward and back until you find the place where the scalene muscles or the side of your neck is really lengthened. Take a breath in and a breath out. Now you can stay right here or extend the left arm out to the side. Same options are available. You can pet the imaginary pup next to you. And you can turn the palm up and down. When your neck has had enough, you'll release the left hand down first. Then bring your right hand up to center, guide your head back to center so your hand is on your face to lift. You'll take your left hand under your left knee, bring your feet in for an easy seat just for a moment. Taking stock of everything. Now, we have 2 options. We're coming into our final pose or closing posture. You can take a traditional Shavasana, getting a bolster underneath your thighs and coming onto your back, if that feels good to you. Alternatively, since we're already sitting, if it feels like a good opportunity to take a few minutes of meditation, you can do that as well. Totally up to you. Sometimes the time of day really makes a difference, and rather than taking Shavasana, it feels better to stay upright. And if you're coming onto your back, take care to give your neck extra support, give your legs extra support, and let your body really land into the support of the ground. If you're staying with seated meditation, you can adjust the height of whatever's under your bum. Perhaps adding a little extra cushion. Sometimes the longer seats require a little bit more support. You can also lean back into the wall. Regardless of where you've chosen to go, observe the natural order of breath. Of your heart rate, of the support that you have. Turning inward. Take a deep breath in and a full breath out. And gently ask yourself if you have anywhere to be. If it's possible to stay and rest a little longer or stay in seated meditation a little longer, do that. Stay. But if it's time, from Shavasana, you'll bring the soles of your feet to the ground first. And take a breath. And on an exhale, you'll roll to your side, pausing to connect, to start the process of reawakening. As you feel ready, you'll come up to seated. Again, if you have the time, you can stay in Shavasana or seated as long as you like. We'll take some simple sun breaths all together. So as you come upright, inhale your arms up overhead. Exhale your hands down to center chest. Inhale, stretch out and up. Exhale your hands down to center. One more time. Inhale your arms out and up. Exhale your hands down to center. Let your thumbs press into your chest, feeling contact between hands and body. And acknowledge yourself for getting onto your mat and for whatever sense of purpose it was that brought you to it. From that internal expression of sankalpa, of intention, we can look outward towards our sangha, our community of like-minded practitioners, and give a gentle bow to one another. Thank you for sharing practice, for being together. Thank you all so much for coming.